Hello guys, and welcome to my 10th Rome Total War online commentary battle. This is actually an old battle I'm about to put up. It was played a few months ago, and it's been submitted by our friend Spider Pig from the COH clan. Now, if you watched my last episode, episode number 9, it was a heroic victory. It's one of those battles where everything falls into place and everything seems to go really well. What I'm about to bring you is something totally different. It's when everything hits the fan, basically. This, I'll just go out and say it, it's not going to be a heroic victory. This is going to be a heroic defeat. Now, I thought I'd post this one up because, as I said in my earlier videos, that you tend to learn more from your defeats than you do from your victories. I was planning on posting this video up some time ago, but unfortunately I lost the replay. But thankfully Spider Pig still had this victory in his replay folder, so he's kind enough to submit it to myself so I can show you guys what to do and hopefully what not to do, and hopefully you learn by my mistakes and you don't do what we did. So not only is this going to be a heroic defeat on my point, but also to add salt to the wounds, this is a 4 versus 4. 4 COH clan members versus 4 Heaven clan members, and we're about to get our ass absolutely kicked. So I'll give you a bit of a backstory to this battle. This was recorded, or this was actually done probably around November time of 2013. At that stage the Heaven clan pretty much had gone pretty quiet. A lot of members had dropped out because the clan wasn't very active. So around November time, December time, I took more of a frontal role in the Heaven clan, and I started to recruit players, and I started to basically try and pump more life into the clan. So over a period of time there's been more and more Heaven members that have been active online, and when this battle was done we actually had 4 Heaven members online, which is probably the first in a very long time. So I think all 4 Heaven members here are pretty much stoked that we managed to get 4 players online at the same time. So we're probably more stoked and focused on that rather than the actual match. But needless to say, we should have played better than the way we played. It was the first time all 4 of us have played together, so we probably played quite defensively, and you'll probably see how it all turns out in the end. So if I just quickly introduce the COH players, we've got Spider Pig on the flank here. He's bringing your standard 6 Praetorian Cav and 14 Urban Cohort. Then we've got COH Prince of Macedon. I'm sorry to say this isn't actually Alex Prince of Macedon. This is our UK version of the Prince of Macedon. His real name is Walnuts, and he has brought 6 Praetorian Cav and 3 archers, and it looks like 12 urbans. And then we have got another COH clan member. This is BoFu, and he has brought 6 Praetorian Cav, and he's brought 13 urbans. Sorry, no, 14 urbans. No, 13 urbans even, and 1 legendary cohort, which will help boost morale. And then last but not least we've got Tak from the COH clan, and he's brought 3 archers, 6 cav and 11 urbans. So between I call this side COH sides, they've got 51 urbans, so a good amount of urbans, and they have got 6 archers. So basically they're going to have the ability to skirmish, and if we play quite defensively we're going to play into their hands because they've got the archer advantage. So I'm going to forward it for a couple of moments, and again, once again, I'd like just to thank all the guys that have been watching the videos. People who have subbed, people who have liked the videos and put little comments. Thanks so much for your contribution, and thanks so much for your advice, and it really does keep me going, recording these videos of all the positive feedback that you guys send me. So if you want to see any other battles, please just give me a shout. If you want to submit any replays, let me know, and I'm sure I can rustle up something for you. So any time now, the Heaven team should be cropping up. There we go. So I'll just quickly run through the Heaven members. I've got myself here on the wing. I've brought my standard 14 Urbans, 1 Legendary cohort, and 5 Cav. My ally here in the Heaven clan is Mr. G, or Guillu. I can't pronounce his name properly. I call him Mr. G in our clan. He's brought 14 Urbans and 6 Cav, so fairly standard build. And then Lucius in the Heaven clan, again he's brought the same build, 14 Urbans and 6 Cav. And then last but not least, we've got Jackfrost of the Heaven clan. He's brought 14 Urbans, 1 Legendary cohort, and 5 Cav. So if we look at our combined builds, we've really gone heavy on the infantry. We've got 58 Urbans, so on our infantry fight we should be winning that hands down. On a Cav, they've just got 1 more Cav more than us, and they have got archers. So the game starts off, because none of us have played together, we're going to probably play quite defensively. As you can see, we don't really have much of a gameplay plan. We just want to make sure we've got our forces all met up in the centre. Now this is really going to play into the hands of COH, because they've got the archer advantage. They're going to throw out their archers quickly and try and get as many flank shots on our Urbans as possible as we get into formation. So as you can see, my guys are slowly being shot to bits by these Tax archers. I'm probably going to peel off some Urbans just to try and fend these guys off, but at the end of the day there's little I can really do, because I want to try and meet up into the centre. I wanted to try and minimise the amount of damage that I have. I'm going to get my Cav to support these Urbans and hopefully try and push these guys back, but Tack's going to probably outmaneuver me and still use his archers to get as many shots as possible. If we go on to this flank, you can see BoFu's doing exactly the same, whilst Jackfrost is moving his guys into the centre to meet up with our clan mates. He's been shot in the back. Unfortunately there's quite little that we can do. We can't really rush forward at the moment because of the overwhelming Cav supports that they've got on those archers. There we go, so we're slowly getting into the centre here. I'm slowly trying to move my guys around whilst trying to fend off these archers, but again Tack's going to get a few more shots in there and do even more damage. So the only thing I can do is just really rush my guys and hopefully just minimise the amount of damage done. In the meantime, just pointing this out, as you can see there's a bit of a glitch going on in the game. As you can see, Jackfrost's Cav is almost dispersed. This can sometimes happen when you do a 4 versus 4 on Rome Total War. I think when you've got so many units going at the same time on the battlefield, when you're doing all these different commands, sometimes the game can glitch and cause your Cav to almost explode. So a few times throughout this battle you'll notice this little glitch will happen. I don't think it's down to anybody's PC or their build. It's probably just down to the actual game itself, purely because the amount of units that are going on. The actual platform of Rome Total War sometimes can't handle all the units. So as you can see, we've got our guys in a defensive line here. In the meantime, BoFu and Tac, they're taking shots whenever they can. If there's any units that are going to be out of formation or they turn their back, they're going to get in a few shots. So at the beginning of the game, we did have the infantry superiority. We had 58 infantry, they had 51. If you look at all of the dead bodies, the Urbans that have been dwindled down on my side and then on Jackfrost's side, you can see all these dead bodies. Effectively, because they've used their archers so well, they're slowly starting to break even on the amount of infantry. We still have the slight edge, but I'd say they've probably knocked out pretty much 2 full units of Urbans from all their archer fire, which is a great use of archers, considering that the archer auxilia, cost nothing compared to a gold urban cohort. They really are slowly getting the advantage. Again, what we should really do is be more aggressive, but instead we're pretty much standing still. We've got no archers, so effectively it gives COH the opportunity to take the upper ground. They can effectively get into a better position whilst we pretty much just stand there. And bit by bit you can see we're slowly moving back, just trying to fold back in on ourselves, playing even more defensively than we ought to. We should really advance forwards and take the initiative, because our infantry should be able to beat their infantry because we've got the higher numbers. And our cav, although we've got one cav less, if we use it sensibly we should be able to get some great charges and effectively swing the battle in our favour. But unfortunately, as all of us, I'd say in all honesty, we're probably a bit nervous, all four of the Heaven guys playing together. This is the first time we've actually played as a 4x4, so we weren't sure how each of us play. We've done 1 versus 1, maybe 2 versus 2, but this is the first time that we managed to get 4 of our players all online at the same time. So as I move my guys, I'm going to try and get my people into formation, with splitting my troops into 3 segments, because what I need to try and do is advance forward and take out TAC. In the meantime, on this flank you can see Spider Pig and BoFu. They're slowly flanking around the side. They're using their archers to shoot down these urbans whenever they got the opportunity. Jackfrost has put his guys into Studio, which probably doesn't need to do that, because if these guys are facing the archers, there's little damage that the archers can do. It's only if he turns his guys around. Now they've come out to Studio. I imagine BoFu's going to get in a few shots because they're in tight formation, and try and get some flank shots on these urbans and legionary cohorts. And there we go, Jack's just moving his guys back. Just he doesn't want to get his back showing to these archers. Every time he's falling back on himself, it's giving COH the upper hand effectively on getting into a better formation. So at this stage, in a moment, I'm going to start to bring the battle to TAC. I can see his guys in loose formation. I've got more infantry than he has, even though he has got the cav support. So, as I said, we're playing defensively. I'm going to try and play this by the book. So I'm going to peel off one of my urbans, stick him in the front, and put him into Testudo. So you can see. Then once he's in Testudo, I'm going to move my guys forward, so that hopefully I can throw off my volleys of peeler on TAC's army. If TAC throws his peeler, the first unit he's going to attack is my Testudo unit, and effectively it's going to do little to no damage. So that would give me the upper hand on the peeler wall. If I can get the upper hand, plus having the large infantry numbers, I should be able to take down TAC's army, and then hopefully flank around the side to help my clanmates deal with BoFu and Walnuts. So as you can see, I've moved my guys forward. TAC's taking his guys off fire at will, because he doesn't want to waste his peeler on my Testudo, because he knows it's going to do little to no damage. I'm going to put my guys now just behind the Testudo and fire off a couple of volleys of peeler, which will then go into these urbans. So these are down to 75. My guys are still pretty much intact. Down to 66, down to 72, 66. So effectively I've got the upper hand here on this engagement. Now at some stage what I'm going to do, as you can see, is a little trick here. I know that TAC's taking his guys out of fire at will mode, so if I act really quick, these guys that are in Testudo, I can take them out of Testudo and then quickly put them back. So effectively they will go out of formation, throw off a volley of peeler, and then quickly go back into formation. Now if you can do this quickly without your enemy knowing, it means that you can get a volley of peeler off into them, and they probably won't notice because they've taken their guys off fire at will mode. Unless they're constantly surveying this Testudo unit, they won't notice it. So it's a little trick for you. Now I tried to do this a second time, but unfortunately I do it a bit too slow. So my guys come out of formation, and then they slowly go back into formation. At this stage, I think Tac has noticed what I'm trying to do. So I try to do it again in a second, but Tac's noticed what I'm trying to do, and before my guys get back into Testudo, they get hit by several volleys of peeler. Because they're in tight formation, their numbers have been knocked down to 42. So effectively I've lost 40 urbans already in a space of 10 seconds, and that's because I was a bit slow on the second micromanagement of that peeler. But hopefully there you might have learned something a bit new there. A little trick. Unfortunately the rest of the battle doesn't really go as well as that. So on the other side I can see my teammates here, Lucius and Jackfrost. They're trying to take the initiative now. They're trying to push these guys back because they're conscious that effectively we don't want to lose, we don't want to get flanked on both our left and right flank. So they're going to be a bit more aggressive and try and push back. What I'm going to do now, in a second, I'm going to launch my guys forwards to attack these loose formation troops that Tac has got. I know that my guys that are in tight formation, and if I keep on attacking aggressively, I should be able to rout and knock out these guys. Tac is bringing his cav around the side. Now whilst he's bringing his cav around the side, his archers are shooting down at my cav. I've tried to move them so that they are facing the archer fire to minimise the damage. My ally Mr. G has brought in his cav just behind my cav, so I'm thinking, you know, happy days. If these cav attack mine, at least I've got my infantry here to support, and I've got my ally here to support my cav. So I'm going to be a bit aggressive now on my infantry. I'm fairly confident in my use of infantry versus Tac's infantry that I should be able to get the upper hand. One of his units are routed. The rest of my guys are throwing in the peeler. I'm going to aggressively push my guys forward with my general behind, which will boost my morale and hopefully lessen the effectiveness of Tac's infantry. Because I've got my cav here and my allies' cav here, I've decided not to leave any urbans behind because I'm fairly confident that hopefully I should get some support by Mr. G. But of course he's also trying to micromanage his troops here to attack BoFu. So in come Tac's cav, they smash into my my cav. I try to get my cav to do a slight encirclement, and then BoFu's cav is going to come in and smack into my cav. Unfortunately my cav has absolutely been nuked. That's it, I've now got no cav left, and effectively I'd say Tac's cav, BoFu's cav is fairly intact. At this stage they then mass all their cav and they're going to attack Mr. G, my clanmate. I'm not sure if he's noticed it, or if he has noticed it, unfortunately he's a bit too slow. The only thing I can really do is keep on advancing aggressively forward with my infantry. As you can see, I've knocked down, I've killed quite a few of Tac's infantry. There's nothing much I can really do. I've got to keep on pushing forward and hopefully knock out as many urbans as possible. Unfortunately I've got no cav now to support me. I've only got about 15 units of cav. I'm going to launch them forward into these archers just to try and scare them off, because I don't want these archers taking flank shots at my my urbans. So I'm going to keep on pushing my urbans forward aggressively. My guys are warmed up, they're fresh, because I'm going to cause all these other urbans to rout of COH. but I've got no cav support, so I'm going to be really vulnerable to any cav charges because I can't counter with any cav, and my ally Mr. G, he can't support me because unfortunately he's lost his cav. So I push my guys forward. I'm fairly confident at this stage that we've managed to knock out a good amount of Tax infantry, but sadly they've wrapped around the back of us. Their cav is behind, their cav is winded and warmed up, but they have got the overwhelming numbers on their side. So here we go. I've got my guys into formation now. I'm going to keep on advancing forward, and hopefully allies here will come and meet me. Probably playing a bit too aggressively in that I should really probably wait for the rest of my clan mates to catch up. I'll keep on pushing forward. Now, unfortunately, because I've got no cav support, if I get a cav charge, which I'm about to do in a moment, this cav charge is going to be deadly on my forces because I can't counter with any cav strikes. So it's going to be the equivalent of basically a steam train rolling straight into my urbans. Effectively, it's like the Hogwarts Express on steroids. There's nothing I can do. If I've got some cav, I can counter these cav charges and lessen the effect. But unfortunately, my guys are really going to get ploughed in a moment. Not just from Spider Pig, but from BoFu and probably from Tak in a moment. My guys are isolated and really about to get their ass really handed to at the moment. So in comes BoFu, he's getting his guys into formation, and he's about to smack straight into my urbans here. My guys are routing. Whilst this is all going on, Tak sending in his auxiliary. Here comes another charge here. Again, it's like Thomas the Tank Engine on steroids. He's just going to smash straight into my guys. Lucius and Jackfrost are going to send in some cav just to try and attack around this area, but as you can see, my guys, they've been attacked by two, pretty much 6 Praetorian cav, probably gold, fresh units. There's very little that I can do. Now Tak's going to come in with his cav in a moment. Jackfrost does a great thing at the moment. He's going to see these cav and he's probably going to send off some guys just to try and fend them off a bit. As you can see, he sends in a few of his units just to try and fend off these Praetorian cav. But whilst this is going in, Spider Pig goes in for another relentless charge, smashes straight into the Scipii forces here. Not even Claude Van Damme will be able to stand his ground against all of these overwhelming cav charges. Whilst this is all going on, we're underneath a barrage of archer fire. So it looks like my forces have been well and truly knocked out of the game. My ally Guerrilla, Mr. G, is pretty much standing there. His force has been anchored by the Prince of Macedon, or aka Walnuts. In comes Spider Pig with another charge and slap. Yep, I've got my. There we go. Finally, my guys have been routed. In comes Jackfrost with a cav charge, but unfortunately, as Spider Pig's pulled out his guys in time, that counter charge isn't really going to do much. And effectively, now Spider Pig can go in for a counter charge. BoFu's got a surrounding with his cav. Causes Jackfrost's cav to basically run away. They're routing.
The enemy general flees.
Basically, we're getting our ass kicked all over the show at the moment. There's no other way of putting it. These cav charges are just basically steamrolling our infantry. I mean, we can put our guys into guard mode as much as we want, but once you've been surrounded, once your guys are tired, if you're being hit by left, right and centre by cav charges, it's pretty much end game. We can try and take down as many urbans as possible. You know, go down swinging, knock out as many of these Brutii urbans, but it's pretty much a done thing now. I can see our guys are thrown in the town. Whilst this is going around, these Praetorian cav are just running havoc all around the place. They're getting as many kills as possible. There's little of anything we can do apart from cry and basically watch our army being devastated by COH's teamwork. So that's pretty much it. Our guys have absolutely been slaughtered. Well played to COH there. There's some great teamwork. If you can see there, it's a heroic victory to COH. Unfortunately, our guys got our ass kicked. It's a crushing defeat for Heaven. I got 713 kills. Mr. G got just over 1,000. Jackfrost only got 450 kills. Lucius only 677. If you compare that to COH, they steamrolled us. 1,150 kills by Spider Pig. Tac nearly 1,400. Prince of Macedon, aka Walnuts, nearly 1,800 kills, and BoFu nearly 1,200 kills. So we were outplayed, outclassed, everything on that game. Really well played to COH. Hopefully you guys have learned something from our mistakes, and hopefully we won't make the same mistakes twice in a row, but you never can say never. So this is Biscuits signing out, and thanks again for you guys watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's nice to see the other team winning, and not just by winning but absolutely slaughtering us. So well played to COH, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. All the best, bye now.